Good morning, my friends. Welcome to my new country farmhouse sewing studio. I'm Marnay, and I thought I would bring you all in today to show you another new project that I've got going on. Since it is gift giving season, I've got another fun applique video for you, and you might want to watch this one because I think it's going to be really interesting, and I have some interesting things to show you. So this is kind of giving you an idea of what we're going to be working on today. So what I have done is I have a little rabbit here, and I've got some layered flowers and some little butterflies, and I will tell you on how I got this little bunny started. He's really cute, and he's kind of going to be cute for spring. Yes, this is going to be another little pillow tutorial, just like the one I'd done before, but I thought I'd do something different with this one. So what I started off with was Pinterest. Guess what? I'm a doodler, as I've always said, and I find things that I like, and this is the photo that I kind of saw, and I kind of rough drew it out to, because it's a very simple design and it'd be very easy to applique and then separate the pieces. So my original drawing was this. I was on my laptop and I just kind of did a quick sketch. Now, and you got to remember, everything that I did in this is reversed on the rabbit that I have drawn. So these are just how I begin things. So what I do is I put this on my light box and I trace over with some Heat and Bond light. And I have a little piece of Heat and Bond light here. This is Heat and Bond, and it has like a rough side, and then it has a paper side on here, and I just lay the Heat and Bond light over top of my picture on a light box, and then I trace out each piece for my rabbit. So my nose is separate. I separated the neck, the head, the eyes, the ears, and the inner ears. The flowers I'll get to and tell you about those. So that's how I do it. So I rough draw them onto my Heat and Bonds, and then I rough cut them out. I don't cut out the shape off the paper first thing. I rough cut it out, and then I delve into my scrap bin and I pull out little pieces of fabric that I wanted to color my rabbit. So I wanted my rabbit to be this brown color, and then I found the light tan, the gray nose, and the inner ears are like a cream color that have like some little pink and green leaves in them. It's just really cute and whimsical. And then the eyes, I had some scrap white with like, I don't know, they had like these little star designs in it that was kind of silver. So they have a little silver touch in the white spots of the eyes. I didn't want to make the whites too big. I just wanted that glint in his eyes. So when I cut the pieces out and I peel the paper off, I get a shiny side. This is his nose. And of course the mug. And what I'm going to do is I'm layering all this stuff together onto the face. And I'm going to stitch everything down in a black thread. I really discovered that I like that when I was making the bags. When I stitch everything a couple times over in black thread, it gives it a very whimsical look, and it almost looks like it's drawed. See, my ears are all separated. So I just have them laid out on here. And I had this really cute carrot fabric. I bought this in a fat quarter at my local sew shop here a while back. And I've hung on to it because I knew I'm going to make something special with it. I just didn't know what. So when I thought of this idea, I instantly thought of the carrots and the rabbit, you know, because rabbits like carrots. So this was really fun. The next thing I wanted to do, I wanted to really add some pizzazz to this. I thought about layered flowers. And these flowers are really just squares that I picked out. And I picked out 6 colors. So there's 6 colors of blue on here, and I will tell you how to cut them out. I went in my button therapy and found these cute little buttons. This one is a little, it's almost like a flower shaped button. It's really cute. That's gonna go in the middle of the blue flowers. And then I have another set here that has like some peach and some like peach and red, I don't know, and then some red, and then a batik orange, and then I've got this plaid, and then I've got a pink. And then there's another set here as well. I'm going to try to fit 3 flowers onto this. This is going to be a 15-inch size, and I am going to put a border on this, but I'm just trying to show you what we got going on here. So this one is like a salad in the back. I've got some of the bluish green. I love this color. If you haven't noticed, I mean, this is one of my favorites. It's that bluish green. There's some little flowers, and then yeah, there's this one, and then there's another salad on top. So how do we make those little flowers into these fun little shapes? So this is the smallest flower, and you can kind of see here. And I've layered them, you know, so they just keep getting like a 1/2 inch bigger. I was really experimenting with this because I thought of this idea, so you can kind of see they're all cut the same, but they're all just layered together. So they get bigger, and then the biggest one will go on the bottom. And also I took my erasable heat pen and I drew out some little leaves and some lines, and I will be sewing the black stitching in the lines to make the leaves and everything, and I'll tuck the leaves underneath. So I'm gonna layer these back up real quick. I'm gonna show you how I cut these little flowers. I don't know if I'm gonna be a good demonstrator for this or not. So, you know, let me move you down here so you can kind of see what I've got going on here. And we'll move that out of the way. Also, I wanted to tell you this little salvage here was on the salvage of my fabric, and it had these little colorful rabbits on it. And I thought this might make a cute little tag to kind of like put in the side. I don't know. And then of course I left enough of the carrot on the back so it was two-sided, folded in the edges. And I'm just gonna kind of sew this in the seam to kind of give it a little tag. I thought it'd be really cute to use salvage. So I've got my squares here, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my square and I'm gonna fold it in half. Just like that. And you're gonna do this with all of them. And then I'm gonna fold it in half again to make this tiny little square. And you see the raw edges are around the top, and then the bottom is where the fold are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut off all these corners, and I'm gonna round it all the way around. And same with this one. You're gonna fold this in half. I'm gonna kind of finger press it, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. So the fold is at the bottom where my fingers are, and I'm going to trim it and make it round across the top. And the same way with all of these, I'm just gonna fold them up, and I'm going to cut them around. So you get the gist. You know how you just fold them up and make a little square, fold in half, and then fold in half again. And you're just gonna do the same with every one of them. And I will show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna take the blue flower, for example, this little tiny one. This one was a little, and you can see how I've rounded it. It was in a square, and I just cut it and I rounded it. So when you open it up, you have this little flower shape. And I just made them all a little bit bigger than the other so that I can layer them and make like a 3D flower. So you can see how I've trimmed that around all the way around so it's really easy. And when you open it up, you get this little 4-leaf clover-like thing. And then so I just layer, I don't put the petals all the same way. So where the little dip is in the flower, I kind of, you know, go around and layer them up. But you can layer them however you want. This is just how I'm doing it. I kind of want to give it that frilly effect. So the two largest ones I'll probably stitch down to my my background fabric, but then the rest of them I want to just sew the button in the middle, and so it will connect them all together, so they'll have that layered look, you know, with a button. And they'll, losing the blue button, they'll all be layered in 3D and loose and frilly. So I don't want to lose my buttons, so I'm just going to hang them over there. So, and I had some piece of butterfly scrap. It was like a long 3-inch piece. And I thought maybe I would like to put some butterflies on my little pillow too. So I heat and bonded a little piece, and then after I put the heat and bond on, I cut the shape of them out. So I cut out two. I cut out a big orange and blue one, and then I cut out a little tiny blue one, and I think I'm gonna stick them on there too. So this is gonna be kind of a behind the scenes kind of day for putting this together. I'm not gonna bring you along on all the boring sewing that I do. I'm gonna sew it and then I will show you what I've got done. So what I want to do first is I'm gonna jump over on my Bernina because I have it all set up. And well, first of all, I'm gonna iron all this stuff down. I haven't ironed it down yet because I wanted to kind of show you, and I've lost one of my eye sparkles. Okay, not good. Maybe he went, I don't know. I can make another one. Nope, right there it is. There it is. Technical difficulty. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to put this in place. And you can see I don't have him quite in the center. I wanted him off on the side a little bit. So I've left a little bit on the bottom of my piece here because I need to allow for seam allowance, but I want him to sit toward the bottom of the pillow. I want him to be off to the side here. So I've got his ear close to the edge, but I am gonna put a border around him after I get him all stitched down. I'm gonna put this green around for an outside border. So it will turn it into a 15-inch pillow. And also for the back, I do have a nice fat quarter that would match the front, but I also found this in my scrap bin, and it was some jelly roll strips that I must have got from somewhere, and it's quite a long piece, and I thought maybe I could incorporate this in the back too for the back envelope, just to give it a little interest. So we'll see how that goes, if I can incorporate that in. But right now I'm just going to get started on getting him ironed down, and I will stitch it all around in black thread, and I will go around it a couple of times because I want it to look whimsical and I want it to look drawed, and this is really going to be a really cute pillow. So I hope you stay with me and join me behind the scenes kind of thing for this little journey on this little applique. It is so much fun. So all right, I want to let you know right where I'm at. I've got my bunny all stitched down. I stitched around the little white dots very carefully, and he looks like he's very whimsical. And you can see in my black thread on the back, you know, I've got him all stitched down. So my next step is I'm going to put some of these green borders on there, and then I'm going to figure out how to place my first flower on there. So here's my flower. And I just want to show you the first 4 layers of the petals. I went around them each with black thread, and then I snipped them all the way around and made these little snips so I could kind of fray them because I want them to be kind of frilly. I didn't do that with the other 2 because I'm going to stitch these 2 down first kind of flat, and then I want these, the other 4, when I sew the button in the middle, they'll be loose and frilly and kind of like a 3D flower. So it's really going to have a neat effect. So this is where I'm at for now. And then I haven't cut out the other squares for the other flowers yet because I don't quite know where I'm going to place those or the butterflies. And of course I will throw some leaves into them, blue flowers, when I get them stitched down. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the border down, and then I will attach that first flower, and I will bring you back and show you my progress from there. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch some borders all the way around. This is going to be so cute. All right, I've got quite a bit done. I want to show you where I'm at. You can see I've got my border on, and I also did the little mouth and the whiskers on the bunny, which makes him a little more lifelike. I added the butterfly on the bottom because the bottom border I kind of pieced together, and I wanted to hide that seam a little bit. And I layered the first 2 big layers of the flower down in the corner because I think it's going to fit there nicely. And I also tucked the leaf underneath, and I stitched it in the black thread. And I hope you can see how this black thread really makes this come to life. Like, it's just, I don't know, I just love it. So I did the black thread on the 2 that I stitched down a little bit on the inside. I didn't go too close to the edge because I want that to fray up, hopefully. And once it's washed, it'll look more frilly and fluffy, which is really cool. So the next part here, let me see, I'm gonna see if I can move you down so I can show you what I'm doing here, is I've got the rest of these flowers here, and you can kind of see these aren't going to be stitched down because I already stitched around them. So they will fray, and the fraying won't go past the stitched mark on my flowers. So you can see I kind of, where the where the V is here, that's where I would turn my petals, so they all kind of layer together. And there really is no right or wrong to this. You're just layering your largest to the smallest and stack them on top. So what I will probably do, I've got a glue stick here, and I didn't heat and bond the bigger petals. I just kind of set them in place with a little bit of glue stick just to hold them so I could stitch them around. But now that I'm going to stack these the way I'm going to stack them, I'll probably put a little dot of glue in the middle, which I think is probably best to hold them together and in place, because I'll have to, so I'm going to put a little glue dot there, and I'm just going to stick that one where I want it. My dog wants to go out. And I'm just going to kind of glue in the middle. And that will hold them in place for me so I can add my button on. And yes, I'm going to hand sew that, but I want you to be able to see this 3D effect before I get the button sewed on. And it will have a flower that looks like it's coming right off the pillow. So I've got that all glued in place, and I'll put my button in there, and I will figure out the placement for the other 3 flowers. I have to cut them yet, and I also have another butterfly here. I'm not sure where I will stick this one yet. This is kind of a random thing because this is my creativity, and this is just what I see in my head, so I'm just trying to give you some inspiration. So I'm going to get on with cutting out the rest of the flowers, sewing that button on, and I will get back to you when I get more progress done. I thought maybe I would make this interesting and show you how I cut these squares into these little flowers. I just did the pink peach set, and these are just so cute, and I really just want you to know there is no little elf behind the seams here helping me out. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I know I'm an oddball, but this is how I do it, and if I can do this, you can do it. It's just so much fun. So where there's a will, there's a way. So this is my smallest square, and this is a 2-inch. This one's a little bit tough because some of these were 2.5, I think, and then some of them I finished at 2-inch, but this one happens to be a small one. So you see, my folded corner is where my thumb is, and I want to round this all the way around, because you don't want to cut that fold, or otherwise it's not going to work. So just make sure you have the closed folded edge in the corner. And I know this one's really tiny, but I'm going to kind of cut around it and go all the way around. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because these little flowers, you want them to kind of fray. And see, this is all I get, is these little tiny scraps. And then, you know, after I've got it all cut, which this one's really tiny, the fold is at the corner, or at the bottom. And then when I open it up, it almost looks like a little 4-leaf clover, and this will be the top one. And then I will go to the next size, and because I thought, you know, if I don't show you this, somebody's gonna ask. So this is what I do. I have my little waste basket here, and I've got the folded part in the bottom, and then of course you can see all the open edges are at the top. And you know, and you can practice on this if you're not sure. Get you a little square of fabric and just practice cutting it. It's not really difficult. It's just, I don't know. And don't ask me, I don't know how I dreamed this up. I mean, I remember being a kid in art class, you know, when you would play with paper and cutting stuff, and I don't know. I thought about this layered flower look, and I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do, you know. So just making these, you know, to put together, and then I would put each petal over the top of the other one, layering it, covering like the little valley in each, so that they kind of overlap each other. And I just picked random scraps that, you know, I thought looked good together. I really like the pink, the peach, and like the red mixture in the one flower, because it just makes it different. And you know, flowers are beautiful, and they're all different. So I don't feel like there's any right or wrong of what colors you pick, you know. Choose what makes you happy, or, you know, your favorite colors, or, you know. And you know, you can always audition them together just, you know, I layered mine and I just kind of auditioned them to see how they would look. So I kind of randomly chose different ones. And this whole little idea of mine is all out of my scraps, except for the fat quarter for the pillow backing. But all the pieces are just random scraps that are in my bins. I love this bluish green. I love green and I love bluish green, and I don't know, maybe it's just the earthy tones. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I lost my ring. I lost my big, beautiful blue ring that I had, and I've had it for 9 years. And here's the funny backstory to that. I went to the Dickens of a Christmas they put on in Wellsboro, PA every year. They close the street down and there's all kinds of vendors, and it's really fun, and it's old-fashioned, and some of the people, you know, in Wellsboro, they dress up in the Dickens wear with the top hats and the velvet capes and the dresses, and it just draws people from all around. And back in 2015, when I moved back here from North Carolina, I went to Dickens with my mother, and I bought that ring from a vendor at the Dickens of a Christmas, and it was a beautiful ring. And I loved it because I had just moved back from the Outer Banks, and that light blue ring just kind of reminded me of the ocean. And that's what I told my mom. And it was a little big for me when I bought it. And at first I didn't wear it. For the first year, I don't think I really wore it that much because I was afraid I would lose it. And trust me, I did lose it a few times. It had slipped off my finger, but I always found it. So fast forward to this year in 2024, I went to Dickens, and the night before I had my sister here, and I had her spend the night because she was going to Dickens with me, and she'd never been before and she wanted to go. So I was like, you can get down here. I said, I'm leaving very early in the morning and we'll go to Dickens and we'll make a fun day of it, and we'll walk Dickens, and then maybe we'll hit some thrift stores and see if we can find treasures. So that's what we did. And somewhere in my journey of Dickens, my ring, being it was so cold, I think it slipped off my hand. So I bought it at Dickens in 2015, and I lost it at Dickens in 2024. And I put up a post on Facebook, and I, you know, said if anybody finds it, you know, and I put a picture of it. I was holding Tilly, what I could show that my ring showed, but you know, I mean, I know it's in all of my videos and a lot of other pictures that I have, you know. I just kind of hoping maybe somebody finds it and will return it to me. But I had high hopes because I backtracked to the thrift stores, and you know, and I asked if anybody had found it. Hey, my dogs are moving my camera. And I haven't heard anything yet, so I'm kind of coming to terms that if I don't find it, you know, it's kind of sad. Maybe I'll find another one, but I really love that ring. So anyway, I kind of got a nick in that. I know they don't have to be perfect, and if they're a little jagged, but I'm a little fussy. So I'm just going to kind of round that off. I do want them to fray a little bit, so, but they don't have to be totally perfect. So they almost look like a butterfly or a 4-leaf clover kind of thing. So, and then you can kind of see I've got some stacked little rigidy flowers. So I'm gonna get on over there and figure out where I want the placement for my other 2 flowers. I've got the blue ones down, and I even tacked the petals. I will show you how I did that. So we'll get back over there. All right, you can see I've got my blue flower all tacked down. I got my buttons sewed on, and my flowers are really frilly. And I was worried about if this button ever comes loose because I'm not a great hand sewer, but I did get it tacked down pretty nice. But I went over to my Juki and I put some little tack, like just a couple of stitches underneath the other layers, and just kind of tacked each flower so it's going to stay in place. So I did that with all of them except for the top one. I like them that they're loose and frilly and 3D, but I didn't want them to all be held by just that button, so I tacked them so you can't see it, and I just cut the threads, you know. And as this, you know, wears or whatever, this this flower will kind of fray up and be frilly and ruffly. And I also sewed my little tag on for the seam, so when I put my back on, this will have a little tag on the side. So I'm gonna figure out where to place my next flowers. And I think I would like this one maybe up here, and maybe this one over here. But I'm not really sure because I need to have that seam allowance unless I can pin the petals back. So I will get on with that step, and then I'll show you what I've figured out for this. All right, I've got my flowers and my leaves all stitched into place. So I'm just kind of showing you how I put the first layer down, and I kind of sewed it inside, and you can kind of dig at the edges a little bit, and of course they're gonna fray up, but that's what you want. You want them to be nice and fluffy and in 3D. And I did a little overlapping of the ear. I also put the second butterfly in here, and I really like the placement of everything. And of course I'm getting little frays everywhere. So I think this is looking terrific. So the next color for this would be this one. And you see how I would rotate the leaves so that they kind of, the petals will over cover the valleys. So I stitched the first 2 layers down to my backing. And then the rest of them, I think what I'll do like this. I will just tack them in place underneath each of the petals so you can't see it. And of course I have to take all of these and stitch the black around the petals as well, because I don't want them to fray past the stitching. And when they're stitched, it brings everything all together. So it just gives it a really nice look. This is gonna be such a sweet pillow. I am just absolutely excited and over the moon with this because it's just coming together the way I visualized. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these done, and I've got my 2 buttons. So I think by the time I get this finished, I can kind of show you the finished front, and then I will work on getting the back done. So stay with me. All right, are you ready to see my ta-da? I got all of the front of the pillow done and all of the buttons sewed on. So this is what she looks like. Is this not adorable? I just love it. I just can't believe that I can put this together. So the easiest button to sew on was this nice little pink one. It was a 2-holer. The other ones, I got them on. I mean, they're secure, but it's just adorable. So I'm gonna work on getting the back of the envelope for this and get a pillow form cut out so I can make my own pillow. But this is just absolutely adorable, and I'm so excited about it. Oh, and even the tag. Let me just kind of show you when we flip that out. When I get the seam in there, this little rabbit thing here will come out in the seam. So it's just adorable. This could be very springy, you know? I mean, we're in December right now, but you know, we know what comes next is spring and, you know, and flowers. And I just think this is a very fun little pillow. It's gonna be great to put on a couch or a bed or whatever. So I'm gonna get on and get this finished up and quit babbling. So I'm really excited. So I guess when I get back, you'll probably see the most finished the finished project, because I'm going to get the back, it's just gonna be an envelope back, so I'm not even gonna go through and show you all that. So when I get this finished, I will just show you the finished product. It's gonna be great. All right, my friends, are you ready to see this adorable pillow? She is all finished, and it has probably taken me all day. The back, I switched it up. I didn't do the fabric that I picked out. I had some this quilted fabric, and it was kind of some leftover. So I had put some together and made an envelope pocket, and I put some binding on the edge because it was quilted. So it makes this pillow a little bit thicker, and it's just squishy, and I just love it. I love the 3D flowers. I love the rabbit. I just think this is an amazing little gift. So I hope that you enjoyed this little journey with me. If you have watched this video until the end, just another creative seed that hopefully I'm sewing for you to maybe play with your fabrics and try something new and experiment. Doodle, draw, make some layered flowers, because it really just makes something really cute and whimsical. So I'm gonna get on to maybe the next video here up shortly. So if you enjoyed my video of another pillow making with the applique and the behind the scenes of making this, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. There is plenty more in this creative head of mine, so I hope you join me. Until then, I will chat at you later. Bye.